Chamber members. Welcome to Monday Minute for Monday, August the 22nd, 2022. I have several items for you from the Canadian Chamber front, mostly a couple of key articles on labor force and CPI indexes, information that came out last week. On the Canadian inflation, of course, the chief economist is talking about the core inflation measures at the Bank of Canada rose to 5.3%, so he has concern that the core, the underlying price pressures are still there, even though we saw that it began to slow. The rate of inflation began to slow last month to 7.6%. We know that was largely due to energy prices falling. They did talk about the dramatic price movements that are still happening in energy, food, transportation, and shelter. So it's an interesting read if you're a follower of the CPI and information in that regard. He also puts out information on the labor force survey that came out in July, and there are historic and unprecedented low unemployment remains, and of course the wage pressures, he says, continues to mount. And the unemployment rate remains at 4.9% for the second consecutive month. He said that's the record low since the monthly data began in 1976. However, he also goes on to talk about the decline in jobs in May since May to 74,000, mostly in the services sector. But he does say that the average wages have increased, hourly wages have increased 5.2%. So there's some interesting information in his article there. Also, a great story from Perrin Beatty talking about Canada's resource opportunity and obligation. We know that the German Chancellor is coming to Canada for a visit, and Perrin records in the article his conversations or discusses his meeting with the G7 counterparts in Germany a little earlier this year, and talks about how Germany is looking for Canada's energy sector, and we need to get our product to market in order to supply that need based on the Russian invasion of the Ukraine and so on. Good article from Perrin. And then we see that the annual wholesale trade growth in Saskatchewan is leading Canada at a rate of 4.8% increase over June of 2021 to 2022. So some great news there on the manufacturing front, wholesale trade front in Saskatchewan. I wish you nothing but a great week in business. Hope you get to continue to enjoy the great weather, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.